So how did you become an art consultant in the fashion in which you do it?
I realized that it was impossible to make a living just selling paintings because it's not possible to sell enough works of art, paintings by themselves, to prosper. And to me, to consult on large-scale monumental projects like the D-Day Memorial, like Block, what we did for the University of Kansas Hospital's new cardiac center, enormous works there, and then what we did also for the City of Olathe, what we've done for City of Overland Park. Those massive projects can allow you to involve a whole group of artists at one time, and of course the profits will be larger. You can advance the gallery. By advancing the gallery, you advance the careers of more artists.
You have, Paul, you've written this book, Living the Artist's Life,
right?
A guide to growing, preserving, and succeeding in the art world. First, describe for us the life of an artist in Kansas City.
Oh, the life of an artist in Kansas City it's always a challenge like any Midwestern town that is smaller than, say, Chicago or smaller than Philadelphia. You've got to find enough collectors and enough clients to make your living by. And the reason I wrote this guidebook is because while a lot of art schools try very hard to provide career guidance for their students, and some succeed to a very high level, really an art school is there to help a young painter, a young sculptor, a young fiber artist become the best that they can for that young artist's ability. But a lot of those professors haven't run a gallery. You know, why would they? That's what people like I do. And unless you're willing to share this information, when those artists graduate from art school, they're going to be clueless about what to do to begin establishing a viable career. So in Kansas City or St. Louis or Springfield or Wichita or New York, the story is no different. On my book tour, I spoke in 60 cities. I found out in city after city, I didn't care if it was Miami or San Diego, they all face the same struggles. How do they develop a portfolio of in-depth and a resume of in-depth? How do they get represented by multiple galleries? How do they gain corporate and private commissions? How do they gain press coverage? How do they begin to slowly build up their resume so they can begin to have a national presence of some caliber? And that's why I wrote the book, to give artists instruction on that.
But you said earlier that the resume is not what you look at. You want to see the piece itself.
That was with H&R Block.
Oh,
but when you're an artist,
okay.
When you're an artist developing your career, galleries do look at that resume. Certain collectors do pay close attention to that resume. What shows have you been in? What shows have you received a juried award in? Have the shows been widely dispersed across the country, or are they all just centered in your area? All these different things. I discuss all these techniques, plus website development, photography, because it's essential. If you don't know these tools, and they're minor business steps, but if you're not familiar with them, your career will not develop, and by the time you're 35, you'll be frustrated and either drop out of the game or sink in the depression. Or I've seen all kinds of drug addiction and alcohol abuse come out of these attitudes, deep troughs of depression that last lifelong, simply because the artists don't have the tools to develop their careers with. If they had them and had access to them and could utilize them just a little bit, it can make a tremendous difference.
In about 20 seconds, tell us the one thing that you like the art community to know about Paul Dorrell.
Well, representing successful artists and helping artists become successful is very important to me, but even more important to me is going into low-income high schools and finding fantastic talent and setting them up with mentoring programs of professional artists and then giving these great kids professional shows. That's something I'm really passionate about.
Paul, thank you so much for joining us one-on-one.
Sure, Victor, it's my pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, and this is a beautiful piece.
Thank you. By Tom Blewett, not by me.
All right. Congratulations, Tom.